Hello, my name is Robin Wilson. I have a team called the RW Family Team of Long and Foster. I've been in real estate for 16 years, going on 17 years now. I actually had my first real estate license when I was 25. My mother talked me into it. She was a real estate agent, and she talked me into it. I did. I hated it. Absolutely hated it. But I helped her for like a year while I was going to college, and then went back to college, got a degree in accounting. Ended up in corporate accounting for a few years while I was married. And then when I started having children, I quit and stayed at home with my kids, which was amazing. Loved it. And then one day when my ex-husband and I were looking for a house, he was like, well, you should just get your license. And I was like, you know what, I probably should.
You're right.
So I did. I got my license with, really, the funny thing was, it was the intention not to use it as a career, but the intention was for us to buy a house and sell our house. We were like, well, why don't I just do that?
Yeah.
So, but as a result of that, you know, I started getting to know the market because when I got in the market, a lot of people were getting out of the market because it was when it crashed.
Yep.
And so people were like, you're getting your license? Like, why? But it was the best time for me because I learned how to do short sales and foreclosures as my beginning to real estate.
That's interesting.
It really was. But I thought it was really fascinating, and I really enjoyed it. And I didn't know how much until a few years into the business. And I was like, you know, I really do like this. And of course, every year you build more, you get better, to the point where age, luckily, you know, at 63, it helps me because I have experience not only in real estate, but in life.
Yeah.
And so, so I'm here today. You know, I have a great business. I have some wonderful clients. I have an amazing family that supports me. And yeah, so I'm really happy.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Did your mom say anything when she was like, look at you being a realtor? Remember those times?
Yes. So my mother passed away 9 years ago.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was some hard times because basically my mother was still younger, and but she got cancer, and it was one of these aggressive. So she only lived for 6 weeks after she was diagnosed. Man. So it happened so fast, you know, that really just getting through that was a really hard time for myself. But when I got my real estate license, yes, she was so excited. But what was really exciting for her is when I started winning awards and becoming like a top agent. And then she was still a real estate license, had a real estate license in Florida, Naples, Florida, where my dad still lives. But she used to, you know, I'd send her some stuff, and she used to show all her friends, look at my daughter. She was so proud. Yeah.
That is beautiful. I love that. I love that she has that memory of you. You know, that's so beautiful. Is there anything special that you remember that your mom taught you that you learned when you were with her that you're like, wow, I'm glad that I had this?
Yeah. So one of the biggest takeaways for me as an agent, and I'm also a Christian, and so I lead my life through prayer and through try to be Christ-like, was my mom treated everyone the same, meaning she helped anybody. And she had a level of more towards her clients were her friends. And typically when she helped somebody, they became her friend and they became family. So I've kind of taken that type of feeling and role when I meet people too. They become, and I tell them like now you're my family, you're part of my family, and they really truly are. So yes, that's what I've taken away from that.
I love that. Can you tell me a little bit about why it's important for you to build those relationships with their clients? Like not just after you sell them or help them buy a house and it's just like, all right, thanks, have a nice day, bye.
Oh yeah, well, truly I get to know my clients on a personal level. Um, it the foundation of any friendship, getting to know somebody as a real estate agent, you really get to know people on all levels.
Mm-hmm.
Their life. We always say, we're part therapist, when we're real estate agents trying to help people buy and sell. But being so personally involved with them for the length of time that we are, and a lot of them, are truly my friends.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of them I just keep in touch with on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And they continue to send me their friends, their
Aw.
family, their colleagues, all of that.
You're like their little hub that they
Yeah.
look to for guidance and help.
Yeah. And if you continue to be that person that they, are looking for advice or information, it's very special. And there's really, for me, there's no greater feeling other than being a parent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that. For any first-time home buyers, have you noticed any like common mistakes that they make that you're like, oh, let me help you with that? Or how do you handle that?
Well, most of the time with first-time home buyers, it's they just want to get out there and they just want to go look at houses. And so it's educating them on what they need to do first. They need to get pre-approved. They need to talk to a lender. They need to find out what it is, that they need to do before they can actually write that contract on the house.
Yes.
So it's just a learning process in the beginning. I usually, I'm happy that they're excited about getting a house, buying a house. But then you got to pull them back a little bit and say, okay, well, let's just take a minute here. Let's go through what you really need to do. Sometimes they might have to work on their credit. They might have to pay down some debt, so, but you do it in it's always a gentle, loving way of saying, it's okay, you're still going to get that house, but we might have to do a few things first.
Okay. And then have you noticed any trends or anything when people are looking for houses? They're like, I gotta have this. A lot of people saying that over and over again.
Oh, well, the biggest thing is, when I talk to clients, I typically say, okay, give me your must-haves and then give me I would really like to have this too. Okay. So it's a wish list. So they tell me one thing. I need, let's just say, a colonial, 4-bedroom, 3.5-bath colonial. But as the process goes through and we start looking at houses, they're like, well, I like that rancher too, and that split floor is pretty nice too. And maybe that's,
Yeah.
So yes, they change their mind.
Yep.
And that's a normal process.
I agree with that. I feel, because sometimes you're like, oh, I really want this, but then you see something else and you're like, oh, but which one do I want? And you're like, you know what? I changed my mind. I want this one because this style is going to look better in the long term, or whatever, have it be.
And I think we all feel the same way about certain things that we think we like until we go to put it on.
Yeah, exactly.
We're like, well, that doesn't look as good as I thought.
Oh, the lighting's different here. Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
And then how are you keeping up with technology or anything when it comes to real estate and listing and marketing? Any AI use yet or anything?
I use very limited AI. I feel like that's, I don't know. I'm just not totally comfortable with it.
That's totally fine. I even find myself sometimes like, whoa, wait, what?
And when I see, I'm going to tell you, one of my pet peeves is I see these people on Facebook that are using AI to change their images and their, I'm like, oh dear, stop. Don't go there, don't go there.
Right. We want to get to know you, not what you think you see. We want to know you, and it's okay.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. How are you on social media, like with marketing and the homes?
Well, that's my jam, so to speak.
Oh, tell us about it.
Yeah. Well, I have my oldest, she is 32, and I have a grandson. And so she's also my social media guru, as I call her. Although I'm pretty good myself.
Okay, tell us about it.
I've gotten into it as well. So we do a lot of reels. And she, of course, started us on, she's really good on Instagram.
Yeah.
And so we have 2 accounts on Instagram. And then I have a Facebook account. I've got multiple Facebook accounts, but the one I use the most is my personal account because that's where my engagement is.
Okay.
The business account is just basically,
just like a listing or something.
Not personable the way
your personal actual one is. Yeah.
Because I use it for both. So I'll put, all my listings, all my sales, everything in there, but we use all the reels too in there. So the reels are what show who you really are.
Yeah.
So I've had fun doing reels. Believe it or not, like when I was younger, like this would have, us sitting here talking would have been so intimidating for me. I would have been red. I would have been crying. Like,
girl, I was like that this morning. Don't you worry.
But today, because I do so many videos and reels, that I just feel more comfortable. And the more comfortable you are with yourself and who you are. So I tell a lot of people, like we go through Instagram and pick out all the reels that we like because they're like us. For my daughter, she has specific ones because she's really funny. And,
humor is good. You got to have that.
Oh, and I love humor. So she does some very funny ones. And then we do like a mother-daughter or some, mother-daughter ones.
Love that.
And then I do ones that pretty much tell who I am as a person. And so I get a lot of engagement because of it, because I'm being who I am.
Yes, people want to see that. They want to know who they're working with.
And I'm not a stats person. Like,
oh, I got this many likes. Oh my God.
No, what I mean stats is people put all the housing stats.
Okay, got it.
Stats that say, X amount of houses sold last month, inventory is here, there's up, there's a down arrow, it's just the real estate market stats. And I'm like, blah, 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 blah. I mean, it's good to know, but that's not who I am. I find that very tedious and boring. Like, nobody really cares.
Honestly, to be honest with you, I don't think I would watch those videos. I'm like, what does that even mean? Like, they're not breaking it down for me.
If you're going to buy a house, okay, I mean, maybe you're a stats person and that might interest you.
Yeah.
But really, that's not what interests you. Interests you is what I'm doing. What is my real estate agent doing? She's helping people buy and sell houses. She's who she is.
Yeah.
She's real. She's, pardon the pun, because I do a lot of real.
She's real.
But people want to see who you really are, and that you're really just a down to earth type person, and that's who I am. I'm not really a fancy type person.
Fancy, yeah.
Like I'm wearing pants. I'm not a dress person. So this is my comfort level, other than when I'm home and wearing my sweats.
And I love that you know that and you embrace it.
Yes.
You're not trying to be somebody, you're trying to fit into a mold. And I think there's categories for every person for what kind of realtor they're looking for. And I'm happy that there's a wide variety, because not one size fits all.
Exactly.
So I appreciate people who are themselves and not trying to fit the mold.
Exactly. And I tell real estate agents about this too. It's like, you be you. Don't try to be me. Don't try to be that person. Don't try to be the other person. The more you are yourself, the more you're going to attract the people that will identify with you.
I agree.
And they're going to want to work with you, because it's okay if somebody doesn't want to work with me, because maybe they like you and your personality. So I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
And I always say, there was a time in my life where I used to get upset that I didn't get like that listing, or that buyer wanted to work with somebody else. And then, of course, as my faith grew stronger, I realized that wasn't meant for me. That was meant for them. And I'm happy for them.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what that person in life is going through. They might need that sale.
Yes.
That might be their only income.
I love that outlook.
And so you have to look at life as the purpose is always on purpose. We don't always know exactly why it happened, or maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, but know that there's a purpose, and just be happy that you're alive today.
Yes.
You're in good health, and if you're not, you just pray that, miracles happen, and they do every day.
Love that. What are some character traits that you think are good for a real estate to have?
So, well, as we said, to be honest, and be yourself. That's probably the best trait you can be
Hmm.
honest with people. To be a good listener, I find that too many times agents want to talk about themselves and all the things that they've done in their career and all the great things and accolades. But the client doesn't want to hear about that.
Hmm.
They want you to listen to them
Yes.
and hear about what they're looking for, whether it's a buyer because they're looking for a house, or if it's a seller, all the things that they love about their house
Hmm.
and the things that they need help with. And so a good listener is key.
It's key. Yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. Um, have you had any experiences with any clients asking for weird requests when it comes to buying a home, or have you ever experienced?
Well, I've seen a few things.
Oh,
So,
tell us.
oh,
I want to know.
oh, a pole in the middle of the room. Yeah, we're wondering what that pole's doing there. Yeah, just some crazy things.
Okay,
That's probably one of
the craziest one.
yeah.
What do you do in those situations,
Oh,
really?
we usually just laugh, like, oh, wonder what that's for.
I'd love to be
I'm
there.
sure you needed one of those, right?
Okay, it's good to know. I always like to ask realtors because I love hearing the stories and what they've experienced. So that was my question for the day for that one. Who are you outside of real estate? What do you like to do? What are your passions?
Oh gosh, yes. Well, my passions. Well, my kids are my greatest passion. So when I'm not working, I like to spend time with my family, my grandson, and then after that, I love to walk. I love walking and listening to my favorite radio station, K Love, which is a Christian
Station?
hmm that has the most upbeat songs. And I'm just going to go off track for a minute.
That's okay.
Because, when I talk to people about radio, 2 years ago, I think it was like 2 years ago, I started listening to K Love Radio. And they have what's called a 30-day challenge. They say, listen to K Love for 30 days, and I promise you it'll change your life. And
It did.
when I say it did, I mean it did. Like, I don't even listen to any other radio station. I only listen. And the way it makes you feel, I feel so positive all the time.
Oh, that's great.
It's amazing. It really is. And I think if more people listen to Christian radio, it's like what we listen to, only it's more faith-based.
Yeah.
I mean, because I love music. So another thing, I love to dance. So I do what's Feel Good Fridays.
What's that?
So every Friday, well, not every, because sometimes when I get busy, I don't do it.
It's understandable.
So I try to schedule them, but sometimes it doesn't work out. But every Friday I do a reel with a song or a dance. Okay, that's feel good.
Yeah.
And so it's fun. So a lot of times I like to do a dance because I love to dance.
Yeah.
So I'll put on, music on a reel and I'll start dancing, and whether it's outside or in my house or wherever it is. And it is. And it's trying to be positive and upbeat and uplifting to people that, you never know who's going to hear it and who might need to hear it.
Yeah. And it'll resonate with them.
Yeah. And it might help. So, that I started that like a year ago, and that's as a result of listening to K Love Radio.
Wow, you hear that?
So it really is. It's so on the side of what I like to do, I love to go walking. That's my big thing, and it kind of I love to see nature.
Yeah.
And think about all the things that I want to do.
Yeah.
Like we were talking in our women's Bible study last night about every day you wake up, you can write your story. Your story, you can change your story too.
Yeah.
And it's so, it's so enlightening to know that yesterday might not have gone the way you wanted it to go, but today you can write another story.
That's right.
Who do you want to be? What's your legacy going to be? What do you want people to remember you like? So those are all the things that every day I think about. Like, how are my kids going to feel when I'm gone? What would they say about me? How will other people, think of me? And so I try to think of those
Think
thoughts.
on those things. That's very mindful.
It is.
Very,
To
very.
be mindful,
Yeah.
I think, And for yourself too. Like, do you want to have regrets? Who wants to have regrets?
It's hard to avoid those sometimes, but yes,
When
I don't
you're
want.
younger, when you're younger, yes, it is hard. It is really hard. But as you get older, it's easier.
Wow. Well, then I can't wait to get older.
Yeah. Well, take your
Take it. You're like, take your time there, kid. That's amazing. I definitely need to check out your Instagram now because I want to see you like busting out those moves. I need to do that, but where do I start?
It's fun. You just start anywhere. It's like you just start and you just, once you start, you get into it. It's fun.
Okay. I'm not much of a dancer, but I will see what I can do with my bones, moving them. And just to wrap things up here, if you could leave the world, a message, our listeners, what would that message be? It could be in regards to faith, family, the world in general, something in your heart.
Well, I pretty much say this on every Feel Good Friday, and most of my other posts as well, is I end usually with every day is a gift. So live it the best that you can today, because tomorrow isn't promised.
Nope.
So live today. Live it well, enjoy it, be happy, do something to make yourself happy, So that's what I would leave to those around me. And those are the people that know me, know that's how I feel, that every day really is a gift.
Thank you. That's such a good and powerful message. Where can people follow you for those curious to watch you dance and learn?
Okay, so it's Elegant City Realtor Robin Wilson, the RW family of Long and Foster.
There we go. Thank you so much for your time and your wisdom and sharing your stories with me.
Well, thank you for having me today. I enjoyed it.
Thank you.